I have been summoned to Dunryd Row by Lady Webb, a reclusive woman who seems to know more about me than I know about her.
Sure.
This is Dunryd Row, the investigative house of Defiance Bay. Or investigative branch, I guess I should say. No one's ever seen her. No one's ever seen her, but how she issue orders and commands. Strange. I don't even know who... I know she was upstairs. I guess I'll go up and look for her here. Too many characters in this world. Is she not here? Lady Webb will see you now. Oh, thank you. That's Lady Webb? Hello. This woman clutches a thick stack of parchment with spindly, wrinkled fingers, their flesh stretched thin to near translucence with extreme age. A gossamer veil over pale blue veins, ink splotches and candle burns, and the scars of innumerable slices from the edges of scrolls dot and stripe her hands like a quilt pattern after some great indescribable truth. She does not look up from her reading.
So, the messenger conveyed my summons. A miracle that would make the reincarnation of Aothis look like a child's cantrip, surely. It doesn't draw the most inspired minds, messaging. They failed me so many times of late, I nearly sent a cipher after you instead. So this is the Watcher who took over Cad Noir. Oh, don't look so surprised. It isn't an attractive expression. I wouldn't be where I am for long if I let details like that escape me.
Ilaf frowns, scratching the back of his neck. So it's true. Those spies of hers don't miss much.
And this fiasco in the sanitarium that you seem to have gotten yourself into the middle of. What in blazes possessed you to stir that nest of trouble?
I'm investigating a strange group.
Strange does not begin to describe them. The practices of the Leaden Key defy all reason.
It seemed that way.
You're not the only one with an interest in their recent activities. I've lost 4 ciphers this year alone trying to get someone inside their ranks. As it is, we only have our suspicions about who is in the group and what they intend, which I suppose means we have much in common with them. I asked you here because I wanted to know what your interest was in all of this. I thought perhaps we might help each other. Why are you looking for the Leaden Key?
It's very dangerous to lie to someone like this, who basically is the master of all the spies of this realm. And they may have heard from other people the truth of why she may be testing me. So lying is actually not a very smart thing to do. One of their members caused my soul to awaken. I need him to reverse it. She closes her eyes and the lids flicker. Then her face goes still and her mouth parts little more than a sliver. And her hand briefly drops open, spilling some of her parchment to the ground, the pages wafting around her legs like the leaves of a dying tree. Her fleshy eyelids peel back, and her gaze is immediately upon me.
The gods are cruel, I'm afraid. The man you seek is Theos Ix Arcanon, Grand Master of the Leaden Key. One of the most elusive and dangerous men Aora has ever known.
The most dangerous people on the planet? How do you know I seek Theos?
Because you have seen his face, and that makes it a simple matter for me to see it. You even happened to catch him in his ceremonial garb, it seems. Must have been a special occasion.
Shows she's much more than just the head of the spies. She could be a watcher herself. What can you tell me about Theos?
More than most, though very few would know so much as his name. And there is no way of knowing how much of what I've read is true. The Leaden Key dates back more than 2,000 years. If rumors are to be believed, Theos was the one who created it.
He's at least 2,000 years old.
What scraps of evidence exist suggest that he has died many times, only to be reborn each time exactly the same man, awakened during adolescence with all the knowledge and experience of all his lifetimes. The plots he orchestrates sometimes take hundreds of years to bear fruit. Needless to say, this is not the natural order of things. But he is said to be one of Whitaker's favored, and that old bat was never one to let rules get in the way of favoritism. That may also explain another supposed gift of his. His body is no boundary to his soul, and he is known to take possession of others, if their souls are weak enough. Often it is for elaborate deceptions, but sometimes he simply forces them to kill themselves. He is not known for his generous supply of pity.
Was he the soul in the little boy, then?
He is also not one to show himself in any but their most critical matters. If he has directly involved himself in whatever the group plots now, it may be your only chance to find him. And once you do find him, if you can find him, I would not hold my hopes too high if I were you. He is a driven, single-minded man. He will not have the slightest concern for your problems.
How do you know so much about Theos?
The same way I come by all my knowledge. Exhaustive research, spying, bribery, perhaps some less savory measures. Whatever the knowledge demands, I pay in full. There is nothing of greater value. Unfortunately, with Theos, there is also nothing more scarce. He has covered his tracks far too well. His manipulations of the course of history are lost to time now, though I believe they were many.
Fascinating, actually. My master would have been intrigued. What else is there to know about the Leaden Key?
Precious little, I'm afraid. You may know much of it already. No one member knows the identity of more than a handful of other members. They are kept in the dark of missions they are not involved in, or sometimes of those they are involved in. They exist to hide secrets they themselves don't know. If you can imagine how gullible someone must be for that to appeal.
I know practically nothing about him. I just know what he looks like, and I know he was connected to the Leaden Key. That's it.
Despite that, they are very good at what they do, owing much to their founder, who will take matters into his own hands when necessary. And he does not fail.
I knew that there was a connection with Wodica because of what we found in the catacombs. I'm curious, what does she want from me? What do you want from me?
Keep me informed. The Leaden Key has been busy lately, and that is distressing news. I can only guess as to what they intend. You seem to have a knack for turning the stones they've crawled beneath. Keep turning them. Dunryd Row will not stop you. Whatever it is they're up to, figuring it out will be of great use to both of us. In your case, it will surely point you to Theos. In return, I will share our knowledge with you as we learn it, and provide you with what assistance I can.
Very well. Sounds like a deal.
If you find your trail has run cold, come to me with whatever you have. There is much I may be able to do for you.
There is something I can tell you about Leaden Key operations.
Well, let's hear it.
I found Theos in Brackenbury Sanitarium impersonating a patient. He was trying to damage the public's opinion of animancy.
Forgive me, it is unlike Theos to leave witnesses. He must be furious. He did not aid you as you'd hoped, I take it? Well, take heart. With any luck, when he has finished his business, he will surely come and find you again, if only to kill you while you sleep.
So I cannot sleep. with both eyes closed, then.
This news of yours makes sense, of course. To dabble in animancy is to puzzle over the secrets of the gods. This would not be the Leaden Key's first action against it. But if this is connected to their other activities, we may be in for something on a much larger scale. If we can learn more about their goals and methods, perhaps we can get the palace behind us. With Avar's support, we may be able to put a stop to this.
That's all. This process is encouraging. I only hope that we are not too late. I have other questions.
Yes?
Tell me about Dunryd Row.
All the things there are to know in this world, and you ask me about work. Dyrwood is a rebel country. Conflict is in its blood. If you think a few guards posted in our cities keep chaos at bay, you are very new to town indeed. We are Dyrwood's cipher investigators, of course. But what we really are is its last barrier against anarchy. People are more at ease when they believe they are watched over by someone more enlightened than they are. It pacifies them. So that is the image we foster. And we do try to be enlightened for their sake. The knowledge we gather here is Dyrwood's standing army in many ways. We learn what's vital and we act on it while Dyrwood sleeps, blissfully unaware of the terrifying truths all around them. I wish I could tell people the things I know sometimes, but the truth is I don't think many of them could bear it.
How did you come to be here?
Me? I started this place, in a different time, under a different duke. I impressed the duke with my research and my work ethic, and he became possessed of the notion that I would be ideal to lead a secret network of gifted investigators. I don't know how such an idea got into his head.
She winks. May I ask how old you are? She gives a half-hearted gasp and covers her mouth with her crumpled fingers. You wicked man, where are your manners? Were you raised without a shred of decency? Somewhat, yes.
I lost count ages ago. Such a strange thing to celebrate, getting closer to death. Oh, I've had my share of work done to prolong my existence, if that's what you're wondering. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not done here. There are things I still wish to learn. And I'll be the effigy if I let Berith carry me off before I'm through. There was a time when I considered enlisting the theorems of Pondgrum to extend my life indefinitely. I found the thought of devouring my political enemies to sustain my own life greatly appealing. I must have gone soft with age.
Are you psychic?
If you are hoping I can look at your hand and tell you whom you should marry, you can just wipe that notion from your mind. I do not know what will happen tomorrow. That is what I pay spies for. Being a cipher is not unlike being a watcher. You notice more about what is already there.
I know that very well. I'm a cipher too.
Many can hold an object and know where it's been, or peer into the thoughts of people around them. They can also sometimes affect those thoughts, but that would be unethical, of course. A tiny, talented few pick up so much about the world around them, they can get images of things to come, but these are fleeting and unreliable.
You said you don't know what will happen tomorrow.
Who said I was talented? I don't. Least not that I can trust. And with me, it's only ever about one thing anyway.
What's that?
A quiet day at home.
Is there a Lord Webb?
There was.
What happened to him?
He believed in dying with dignity. He was old-fashioned that way, my husband. We saw the world very differently, he and I. But he was good to me while he lasted.
Let's talk about something else. Have other questions?
Yes?
No. Farewell.
Try your best not to die out there.
Will do. The notes are scribbled in a cryptic shorthand. Well, then that settles it. We will help each other. Don't see any reason not to. Well, I haven't been really keeping track, like I should, of where to go next. Went to the sanitarium, I got too caught up with what was going on there. Well, expedition. We did get the armor back. I should maybe bring it to him. Vienna. Yeah, Andre's gift. We need to go to Andre's gift. There. Penhelm has been dealt with and the breastplate is now in my possession. Osric will want to know the outcome. Then we will do that. What are Kana's up to exactly? How he's faring. Ah, evenings come on. Well, that won't stop us from going into the expedition hall. I do like Copper Lane. It's a nice area. A little poorer than, say, Brackenbury, but what can you do? Alright, we must find Osric. Here he is. We know how it goes with the knights. Is this the armor you wanted? Osric wavers a moment in disbelief. He looks at me, then back at the breastplate. He reaches for it slowly, as if expecting it to disappear before he can touch it. How did you manage this? You are right about the affidavit. Unfortunately, Penhelm forced me into a fight. A shame it ended like that, but he's the lying weasel who started this. You did all I asked, and you are owed much. He withdraws a leather coin purse from his pocket and hands it to me. Stop by Sunil's shop on the other side of the hall. She sells some of the best gear in the city, and I'll see that she opens her inventory to you. What is this armor to you, anyway? Osric looks around, trying to appear casual. Ah, it's nothing, really, just a keepsake. He tries to look at me in the eye, but when he does, he appears to reconsider. He sighs. It commemorates the Order of Magran, highest order of valor, awarded to the dead, never the living. Us Dyrwoodians, real Dyrwoodians, we don't have nobility or birthrights, unless you're some copper fucker from Eodir. All we got's the honor we bring to our family name. The Order of Magran is, well, they don't give it out too much. Not often you see a member of the dozens whose revolutionary ties are as good as he says they are. So this, he pauses, considering the weathered metal, a pale image of its former self, but still catching the light, is something to live up to. You got business with me? I'm looking for work.
You want an expedition? Talk to Wenham. I just handle these mercenary shit shovelers. Adventurers, I mean.
Alright. Wenham. Was this not Wenham? See if you'll give me a job. What else do you need? Looking for work.
I do have something, if you don't mind stepping on the toes of the Crucible Knights. Come to think of it, the Dominels won't be too pleased either. They've never liked seeing someone with nicer things than them.
Where do I begin?
Some of my other expeditions have come back with a rumor about a place called Leoremen up near Stormwall Gorge. It's supposed to hold some of the greatest weapons those Engwithan bastards ever made, and we've got need of them.
He casts a sidelong glance at me. The knights are meddling in animacy, befouling souls to build metal warriors. We've got to be prepared to defend ourselves and the city. If there's anything that can stand a chance against this madness, it's weapons made by the Engwithans themselves. They made the same kinds of abominations in their time. They'd know how to kill them. I've sent the giant slayers after the weapons, but they haven't had much luck so far. They're better fighters than treasure hunters. Meet up with them at Wood End Plains and see how far they've gotten. If you can get those weapons, I'll see you get your cut. Thank you. Farewell. Well, I'm not leaving the city yet. But, Strongholds has contacted me. Taxes are earned. There's a couple of adventures that she's added to, the steward has added to me. I think we need to go home for a while. Or at least, I mean, I don't want to do it, but there's no one else to give these to. We can go spend a few days there. But now I'm curious to know what she sells. Who is this? Sunil, that was her name. So the Wilds haven't claimed you yet, she smiles. Good to see you again. Show me your wares, please. Camping supplies. We could use one of those. Thank you. Exceptional. She does have really good equipment. Now I'm wondering if I can't buy a sword. I just have... Oh, she doesn't sell anything. Braces of all-consuming rage. That's interesting. Snurf's Folly. Adds to your resolve and constitution. Cloak of the Fox and Hunter. Makes you more willful and quick. Berserker's Belt. Ah, makes you rage. I don't know if we need that. We have a torch, so we don't have to worry about that. Monakra Aret. You can get people to come over to your side. Bile Stompers. Interesting. Dandy Hat of the Diseased Yak. Oh boy. Where do they come up with these names? Anyhow, I think that's fine for now.